Evening, everybody. It is Tuesday, so y'all know what that means. That it is time for another edition of Honest Hour. And tonight's guest is Tommmydidit. Very, very good brother. Up and coming DJ. Really, really, really good guy. Has a lot. We got a lot to talk about. We'll talk about his DJing primarily, but some other stuff outside of that I like to get into as well with him. But I hope everyone's day is going good. Hope everyone is doing something to be better than they were yesterday. That they're our guest in the room, and we're gonna get started. Lord, I can hear my daughter from here laughing on the phone with her. Yo, what's going on,
My
bro?
God. What's up, bro? What's the word?
No, I'm maintaining, man. I'm maintaining. How about you?
I'm good, bro. I can't complain. I'm alive, healthy. You know what I mean? So I can't complain.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming on to chop it up and have a conversation.
Absolutely. How you feeling, though?
I can't complain, man. I work today. I work in Nabisco warehouse / driver. Warehouse work, it's tedious, kind of boring and physical.
I hear
So, we just had Malamars. So like come for the season. So it was busy the last 2 weeks, but now it seems to be balancing out back to normal. Thank God.
it. Good.
Working 10, 11 hours, it's just tiring.
Putting the
Just
work
tiring.
in.
But exactly. So, I do that during the day and a slew of other things at night. But this podcasting is really, really where my passion is. You know what I'm
That's dope.
saying?
That's really dope, bro.
As you know, but that's all we can ask for, right? Is to be
Absolutely.
healthy, be alive. I got some unfortunate news before the show. My sister-in-law passed away.
Damn.
Uh,
My condolences.
Appreciate it. My wife's my wife's the youngest of 11,
Damn.
and it was her oldest brother Jose, his wife. She had like 5 cardiac arrests in a row. Thank you.
Damn. Let's,
Yeah.
let's.
So now they live in Florida too. So now she's just like, oh, we gotta go and this and that. I'm like, it's hard, finances ain't always in the best shape, but we're gonna see what we can make happen.
That's a fact. Condolences, though. Condolences.
Appreciate it. Appreciate that, and anyone who said condolences in the comments as well. So we're gonna get into it. You are actually, I believe, the third DJ I've interviewed,
Fire.
and you've entered that realm of when I see who needs a DJ, you're one of those people who gets a tag.
Right.
There's 3. There's DJ Miss Official. Her and I go back to elementary school. Raps did my wedding. Me and him are real good friends, and then we don't know each other that well, but we're gonna be friends after this interview. I can tell you that. I can tell you
I
that.
feel it.
So I can say that with confidence that you are in that tier of top DJs in this
I
area.
appreciate that.
And believe it or not, out of all the interviews I've done at being, you're in episode 32 in this wave. DJ interviews are actually the hardest to set up. In a sense of, for me, just really trying to get that deep-winded idea of what to ask.
Right.
But I'm able to get some questions that I think that I wasn't able to ask Raps or DJ Miss Official. They were both on this show. So I'm looking forward to picking your brain and
Absolutely.
and all that stuff. So I'm
Fantastic.
gonna hop right in.
Yes,
As
sir.
I as I was researching, I see you are from Peekskill, according to
Absolutely.
SoundCloud.
Big peak
According,
skill. Big peak skill.
so I don't know much about Peekskill. Um, what I mean, I've been there, delivering, and kind of my dad was at Camp Smith when he was in the military. But what's peak skill like, you know, like if you could compare it to maybe another town, just so I have like a sense of what it could be like.
There's really no comparison to Pisco, obviously, because that's home. You
Right.
know what I mean? It's a small city, tight knit city. You pretty much know everybody. Everybody knows everybody. But just like any other, area in the world, it has its ups and its downs. So, um, it definitely it raised me to be the man that I am today for sure. I love Peekskill, love everything about Peekskill. Yeah, it's just it's home. That's the best way I could put it. It's home.
Okay. Okay. And what was your experience like growing up there?
um, it was it was good. I'm not gonna lie. Growing up, I was always like a very until like ninth grade, I was always like a very like shy kid for the most part.
Yeah.
Um, but growing up in Peekskill has been, it's been fun. Like old people, you have your ups and downs growing up, trials and tribulations and stuff. But for the most part, I can't complain about my upbringing in Peekskill. Like it really, really molded me to be the man that I am for real. So
Okay. Okay. Did you grow up an only child? Did you have both your parents?
my mom, she played both
Okay.
roles. And I have two brothers, a younger brother and an older brother. I'm the middle.
Okay.
Um, so we were very close. I'm originally from Virginia. I moved to Peekskill as a young boy.
Okay.
So Ossining really, and then Peekskill. Um, but yeah, like me, my mom, my two brothers.
Yeah, Ossining, it's kind of right there. It's not that far off.
Like 15 minutes away.
Yeah, you're just a little ride up Route 9.
Yep.
Little ride up Route 9. But Ossining's nice. Ossining's real nice. You go there, like, I'm from Newburgh. I mean, I was born in Poughkeepsie, but I grew up in Newburgh. I moved to Newburgh when I was a month old.
All
So,
right. That's the Poughkeepsie though, for real. Poughkeepsie,
absolutely. Absolutely.
definitely my second home for sure.
PK, PK, they get it in. It's a little rough over there. You know what I mean? But it's a lit place. Shout out to all the viewers in the room. Believe it or not, this is the first time I've seen 15 viewers in here at once. So shout out to them.
Shout out to y'all.
So what were some of your hobbies and your interests growing up?
I've always been into music. A lot of people don't know this about me because like I don't keep it a secret, but like I just like once I conquer something, I kind of just leave it where it's at, and I don't need to like not necessarily say revisit it, but but music has always been a big part of my life. Like I play piano, I rap, I sing, I write music. So that's the big thing in my life, just the music aspect of it.
Oh wow, okay. So see, I didn't know that. That opens up another door of questions.
Absolutely. Yeah, like shit like that. Like I was very like artsy, like poems and poetry and music. I was that kid. I didn't really play sports. I played soccer. I played football. That didn't work out because my little ass wasn't making the cut. But yeah, like I did a little bit of everything, but music and like just artsy shit was like a real big part of my life and upbringing for real.
Wow. So was that the rapping and the singing? Is it something that like you just did, or is it? I don't know if that's the right question. I know where I want to go. I just can't
I
get it there.
get what you said. No, no, it was definitely like I was in it full fledged. Like I had songs on the radio before. Like I was like really, really, really in it. Like like for real. Like doing shows all over. Like I was really, really putting that work in for real, for real.
Yeah, and then so is it just something that you decided you didn't really want to pursue, or is it just something that kind of faded over time?
So I'm someone that constantly reinvents myself.
Okay.
Um, so music like it was like a time period of my life, but as you get older, you gotta kind of like really put the reality in perspective and say like, is this something that I really want to do? And a lot of people don't know this about me either. I used to work for Jay-Z, so like that world is just a different. Like you see artists on TV and all that stuff, and you think like, oh, I want to be a part of that, like that, the glitz and the glam, and but it's like that business is not really built for the weak. Like if you're not one of those people that are like real stern in your beliefs and your values and morals, that shit will eat you up. Not saying that it ate me up, but like it was just, I just outgrew it. Like I still love music. I still write every now and then. I still would drop a song every now and then, but I
Right.
kind of just outgrew it. It was time to reinvent myself, so I just stepped away from it.
Well, it's also stressful. I would assume working for Jay-Z isn't easy. It's kind of just like there's always pressure.
Right.
Jay-Z has to hold a level of expectation
Right.
at all times.
Yep.
So what that means is the people on his team also have to hold that high level of expectation at all
Absolutely.
times. And it's very, very hard to be in that industry. It's very consuming. And now, especially the way it is, in this day and age, is people aren't making money off of records
Right.
anymore. People, you make an album, it goes up on Spotify. 1,500 streams is one sale.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot. It's not like, oh, I bought your single. You're gonna get a percentage, even if that percentage is 35 cents.
Right.
You know, if 5 million people buy that, it can add up.
Right. Right.
You know, so and you mentioned poetry.
Right.
Do you still write poetry, or was it because I know a little later we're gonna get into how I first located you,
Right.
but there's other things that you've been transparent about. Those things, when it comes to those personal things, is that part of what started the journey with poetry, or was it just kind of related to the music?
No, poetry was actually first, to be honest.
Okay.
Um, I still write. I don't really, like I said, I'm an open book, but I'm not. There's a lot of aspects of myself that a lot of people don't know, like in regards to like me making music or being a musician, that people don't
Yeah.
know. Being like somebody that's very into poetry, that's another side of me that a lot of people might not be aware of.
Right.
But yeah, I still write poetry to this day. Like I just don't disclose it to like people. It's more so just an outlet for me to be creative and just to get my thoughts and emotions out in a productive way rather than crashing out and doing other shit. So yeah, definitely poetry is definitely still like a very, very big part of my life for sure.
Would you ever perform poetry live?
Hell yeah, for sure. Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm starting to put together a poetry event with a group of people. I used to write poetry, and I'm even considering doing doing a poem, but I want a certain artist, a friend of mine, to do background singing
Right,
on it. I just have to put it all together, but she said she would do it, so you
right.
know we just gotta get there.
It's definitely a good outlet for sure. Definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what was your first experience with music that you can
Uh,
remember?
so the thing that stands out for me the most was in seventh grade, I believe it was. This is when I first became like fascinated with the concept of music. I was in my music class, and it was a piano class, obviously. Peekskill Middle School. Shouts to Peekskill Middle School. And my music teacher at the time was Mr. Bolden. And we used to he used to have like a station of computers throughout the classroom, and we used to, learn how to play the keyboard or the piano. And he
Right,
used to play all the songs around that time were just like all the hot songs of that time he used to play on the piano. And I was just like so amazed, like, oh shit, like he's really like playing like I forgot what songs were out around that time, but like I was just fascinated that he was just playing those songs on the piano. And then from there, I just wanted to learn. I tried to take lessons, but it never worked out because I always just remembered what keys the instructor was playing and not necessarily the notes.
right,
Um,
right.
so I kind of like trained myself to play by ear. So, um, yeah,
Which is only going to take you so far.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I haven't touched a keyboard or piano in a long time, so I might be a little rusty, but it always worked out for me though. Like just being a creative person, like you never, it wasn't like something I learned, and then it was like hard. So
Right, right. So from that, then outside of that experience, what was your first experience then with, listening to music, like artist wise, everyone's like, well, back in my day, my mom used to play the Temptations or what have you. What was your first experience like that with music?
really, it was exactly that. To be honest, not to sound, I'm not even lying. Like, not to sound cliche or like I'm just following like the lead of other people, but like really, really like the Sunday mornings cleaning up, the Temptations playing, Gladys Knight, Marvin Gaye, Little Richard, James Brown, all that stuff. Not and I've always had like a unique like I always gravitated toward R&B music because that's what my mom played. She never really played rap or anything. I never really listened to rap at all growing up. It was more so R&B, hence why R&B is like my niche and DJing.
Right.
But yeah, but I've always been in love with R&B music since I was a young kid. So um, that's what made me want to sing. Like just hearing like artists sing on the radio that my mom was playing, or tuning
Absolutely.
tuning in to Power After Hour on 105.1 at the time, and you know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
that was my shit. So R&B has definitely like it consumes a big part of my heart for real.
So, who are some of your favorite artists, like currently and all time?
Shit, to be honest, my favorite singer at one point was Jay Holiday.
Okay.
Um, it might sound kind of weird, but like something about his music just resonated with me growing up. Obviously you can't knock the '90s. '90s R&B was a time,
Hmm.
so I don't think I really have like a favorite artist. I just love R&B music. So if it's dope music and it's relatable and it connects emotionally, then I'm all for it for real.
So that's the perfect segue to my game. I know you. I don't know if you've ever seen this show or have popped in or what have you, but I have this game called Honest Picks,
Hmm.
and pretty much I'm going to give you two things, and you're just going to pick between them. If you want to say why, feel free to. If you don't want to say why, that's okay as well. So, just looking for something. So I have technically three categories. One is DJs, as you are a DJ.
Right.
So there's six of those, and then the other one is male and female R&B artists.
Okay.
I usually do groups too, but with these two, I had gotten around the 25 mark. So I was like, I don't want to get to like 40. Because sometimes I had Hood Soul on here 2 weeks ago, and we had about 25, and he was stressed. I asked him the first one, and the look on his face, he looked like he seen a ghost. And that's when I was like, he was like, "Yo, bro, no, don't do this." I had one guest, their mama was yelling at me in the comments because I kept putting matching up artists that just don't I shouldn't have.
I'm all for it though. Let's make it happen.
All right, so we're gonna start with the DJ category. I got 6 of them. DJ Cool Herc or Grandmaster Flash?
Jesus Christ.
He's like, really?
um, I can't even pick between them
If
two. I'm gonna be real.
if you can't, you could say both, or you could say
Both.
neither.
Both.
But he said, "Jesus Christ!"
Oh,
Like
for real.
out the gate. That's what you're just gonna start
Right.
with. Thanks. DJ Clue or DJ Premier?
You gotta go with DJ Premier on that one. Not to discredit Clue for all his the mixtape run that he did and all that stuff, but Premier is just he a legend for real. Like
Absolutely. DJ Marley Marr or Jam Master Jay?
shit, bro. Both. Both.
He's like, this is some bullshit.
Both.
DJ K Slay or DJ Clark Kent?
You're wildin'. Yo, yo, you're wildin'. Oh man. Shit. Both. Gotta go with both on that one.
DJ Jazzy Jeff or Funk Master Flash? He's just like this is this is some bull.
Stress. Um, both.
All right, this is the last one of the DJ category. African Bambaataa or Cool DJ Red Alert?
Both.
I think you
It's like
only picked one.
you really can't like because everybody has their place in that realm. You know what I mean? That contributed
Mm-hmm.
to what DJing is now and what it
Absolutely.
was. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't really like you know what I mean? Like when it comes to that type of shit, like those are like OG legends for real. Like you can't pick.
It,
Like
it is difficult to do that. You know, even when even and that's the same thing with music or anything. It's all subjective, but with DJing, like I had the honor of going to the 50 years of hip hop concert in Yankee Stadium.
right,
And it was cool because they had a DJ set, and like, my wife, she's half white, she's half Puerto Rican, and it's like she listens to rap
right,
music, but like, and she'll hear it. She's more like R&B slash pop. That's kind of her lane.
right,
But like for me, I'm a hip hop and R&B fanatic. So like, I listen to lyrics and I enjoy good DJing.
right,
Like I've been, I wish I could do it because I just love music that much. And like one of my friends was like, bro, it's really not that like it's hard to learn, but he's like, if you stick with it, you can do it. Uh,
right.
we'll get more into that a little later, but because I got some specific questions on that. But the R&B side of this game. Now I'm gonna tell you this first one. They're two of my favorites. I always match them up, and it makes people
I already know what you're gonna say. I already know. Go ahead, say
Music Soul Child or Donnell Jones.
it. I gotta go with Donald Jones on that one. I love
Oh,
music, but I gotta go with Donald Jones on that one.
what'd you think I was gonna say first?
I thought you were gonna say Michael or Prince.
Oh, well, that's the last one. That's always, that's always the last one, and it makes people mad. Mary J. Blige or Mariah Carey?
Mary.
Jill Scott or Erica Badu?
Jill Scott is oh damn. Hold on, I didn't hear that. Damn. I love Jill Scott. I gotta go with Jill on that
Donny Hathaway or Teddy Pendergrass?
one. Both.
Brandy or Monica?
Mm. Um, I gotta go. Mm, both. I'm Monica.
Monica,
I
okay.
got
Aaliyah or Beyonce?
Aaliyah.
Okay, now this one, I think musically is one sided, but I'm gonna add a little initiative in putting songs written in there, including songs for other artists.
Okay.
R. Kelly or Babyface?
Oh shit.
Because for me, musically, it's R. Kelly. But if you include the songs written for other artists,
Yeah.
Babyface got some hits for years,
I gotta
as
go.
well as R. Kelly.
I gotta go with both on that one too. I gotta go with both on that one.
Okay, okay. Curtis Mayfield or Otis Redding?
Otis.
Sade or Shaka Khan?
Oh shit. I gotta go with Sade on that one. I love Shaka Khan though, but I gotta go with Sade on that one.
Sam Cooke or Smokey Robinson?
Both.
Stevie Wonder or Ray Charles?
Both.
112 or Jagged Edge? He said both. He's just going both.
I gotta go with 112 on that one.
Usher or Chris Brown?
Usher.
Aretha or Whitney?
Both.
And the last one, the one you thought I was gonna say first, Michael or Prince?
Mike. Gotta go with Mike with that one. Love
I
Prince.
think you had the most boths, man.
Nah,
You know,
can't.
it's hard though. Like I said, it's hard. It's not
Out.
always easy to pick. You're
Stressed out. Stressed. Stressed out.
That means I've done my job. Because I got some people who can just answer, not even think. But some people like, yo, bro, really? Like, really? I didn't come on this show to think. You know?
Right.
So when did you take an interest in DJing?
So a lot of people, they might know this because I kind of post about it sometimes, but I've only been DJing for 4 years. I literally started during the pandemic, and it really wasn't like something that was always on my mind. I was literally just bored during the pandemic and was like, I got to figure out something to, kill time while we're live on lockdown.
Right.
And, yeah, and I was just like, you know what? Like I was always into music. So like I was like, it has to be something to do with music. And
Right.
then another part of me was that I used to like host like talent shows and events and stuff. So like I'm comfortable in front of crowds. So it was like, what's a combination of both or something that can do that encompass both in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what, like DJing, like that might be a good idea. But for me, it was more so like I want to DJ in the house and DJ R&B music. You know what I mean? Like that was my
Right.
goal. Like, or just learn and DJ R&B music. So then, like maybe like if it wasn't that same day, it was like the next day. I bought like $3,500 worth of DJ equipment just so I hold myself accountable and learning.
Yeah.
And
Because once you spend $3,500, you like, I'm gonna do this.
and that's how it started. That's how it started.
And you've only been DJing for 4 years. I think I did remember a video of you saying, I remember the 4 years.
Yeah.
I remember something about you saying you haven't been doing it that long, but that's very impressive because, as I was going through your page and really just looking at like everything, like the amount of events you have done.
Right.
And that R&B picnic, I was mad I couldn't go to one this year. I was mad, but to see, because those are some of the best DJs locally. You know what I mean? Like I think there should have been some more 845 representation. But that's just me, considering it was right in the heart and soul of ours,
Right.
of our area code. But or 914 for some people still.
Right.
But it's very impressive that your resume already within 4 years.
Yep.
So kind of explain the process of like how you learned. Like, was it like I'm sure obviously YouTube was a tool. Like you can learn anything on YouTube between YouTube and like TikTok. But like, because it's like it's a science. It's a
Right.
definite science because like you really have to transition through it. So what's the process in learning how to do it, not only do it but do it as effectively as you do it.
You know what I think helped the fact that like I'm a musician.
Okay.
Um, the thing that I realized is that transitions are the most important thing I feel like in regards to DJing. Like if you're DJing a party and the people that you're playing for have to stop to catch whatever song you're playing next, and you know what I mean? It's like if you can rock a crowd and they never have to really stop, like to like regroup and figure out the beat that you're on or whatever. Like
Right.
that was the main thing. So I feel like me being a musician prior to that, like it kind of helped with me knowing where certain songs start and where the high points, low points of songs are. Um, but it was definitely a YouTube mania in regards to learning how to DJ. I had a few people that I reached out to when I first started, like DJs locally, DJ Esco, my boy DJ Miracle. They were like the first two people that really embraced me in regards to in regards to like learning and just me picking their brains for information and stuff. But I'm a very humble DJ. I'm very teachable. So any DJ that I do meet, like I always, listen, my name is Tommy. Like I just started DJing. I would love to sit down with you, pick your brain on your journey, your thing, and if there's any tips or anything that you can give me. Like I literally ask any DJ that I meet that, especially ones that I look up to. Um, I'm very teachable and I don't have pride and ego to ask for help. You know what I mean? And I think
Right.
that has brought me a long way. The fact that, that I am willing and wanting to learn without, you know, being afraid to ask for help. Like if I don't know something, like I'm quick to call up somebody that I have in my call, my contacts that's a DJ, like, yo, listen, bro, like I'm working on this. Like what, how can I transition to this? Or what's the best way to transition to this? Should I blend in? Should I drop it on the one? Should I, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
I ask those questions because like my thing is just being able to learn as much as I possibly can because respectfully, I'm trying to outwork everybody.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, and it has nothing to do with, like I said, with ego pride is just that I really take pride in doing the job effectively and as efficient as I possibly can. And if that means I have to pick the brain of every DJ that I come across to be the best possible DJ that I can be, then goddamn it, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to outwork everybody. So it's like, if you don't tighten up, you might want to because I'm coming. Like, I'm coming for
Well,
sure.
shout
Like,
out also, I always forget about my boy DJ Mike G.
Mike,
Like
what's up, Mike?
he's been doing it for a minute. He's all over himself. He does this thing
Hey,
too. So
Mike, you just heard what I said. You heard what I said. Let's connect, bro. Let's connect.
he's a good dude. Been doing it a long time. Knows his stuff for sure.
Fire.
Knows his stuff. And that's the thing. Like, it's a craft, right? Like, I'm like the same way with doing this show. I learn from my peers,
Right,
even the people nearby, like the dude Gabriel who does Finally TV. I watch him
right.
pick up stuff. I watch Moochie. I pick up stuff. It's all about finding pieces and really just watching,
Yeah,
and then taking a little piece from everyone
everybody.
and
Exactly.
making it into your own.
That's a fact. And that's exactly that. I'm glad you said that. That's exactly what I do. Even now, it's like, just to go back to like the R&B picnic, it's like being on that lineup with those DJs. It's kind of like in just 4 years at that and alone speaks volumes to like the work that I'm putting in and the trust that people have in me to like create a vibe and be able to set a vibe because like Ty Boogie, who is like my favorite DJ, like that's I feel like he's the one that like not that I mimic, but he's the one that like I see stuff that he does and it's like I need to learn how to do that or like you know what I mean like Ty Boogie is one of them ones. Danny
He,
D, Jericho, who is new to the R&B picnic, but it's somebody that like is like wow, like he knows how to rock a crowd. King James, Kirk Crazy, like those are all like legends in their own respect, and it's like just to be able to like see the things that they do, and like you said, take a little bit of each thing that all of them do and make it my own.
right.
Like there's no better way I feel like, or there's no better set of dudes that like I could be around to be able to like do exactly that, but just make it my own and at the same time. So like I'm very grateful and appreciative just to be able in the presence of those dudes because like those are like true legends for real and what it is that we do.
And those guys have paved the way,
Yeah, hell
right?
yeah.
Because we always have to pay homage to those before us who paved the way and who said to us, DJ Philly Phil says you were in the right circle for that event.
Yeah, Phil, what's up? That's my guy.
You got to always pay homage to the people who were there before you, no matter what you're doing, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and you still learn from them, but they've learned from someone, and that and that and that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So that's just a level, and you're seeking, you're getting progression
Right.
because you were up there with. Now I don't know all those DJs personally, and I don't know all their credentials, but if they're there, that means they're respected.
No,
That
yeah.
that means that they're top of the
Yeah.
line. That
Yeah.
means
Sure.
that they are able to get people's asses out of some seats. And I was seeing a lot of videos because I've been looking. I'm like, look at these people. Everyone's up. Everyone's having fun. Everyone's
Absolutely.
having time. You know, I see vendors there, you
Yep.
know, heavy promotion. And with everything I'm doing, trust me, I will
Yep.
I will be a vendor there next year. Mark my words.
Hell yeah.
So I got some stuff coming
But
for sure.
but yeah.
So what criteria do you is used to decide what records are being played at a gig? I know sometimes, you know, if you're doing like a wedding, a lot of times there'll be a list, but I mean the R&B picnic is perfect for that because the perfect way to kind of get to where I'm going with it is, you know, like how do you really decide? Like just like I like you you know if
Um
there's no list.
um energy. Energy. And like I said, like being a musician helped with the DJing, but also being like a host for shows and stuff helped being a DJ too because it allows me like just being a host for shows.
Right.
Like I've learned how to read crowds, what to say, what not to say, how to engage with them. So like for me, I never really like do presets. I never really make sets like, oh, I'm gonna play these songs in this order at this, you know what I mean? Because like you might think a crowd or an event is gonna be one way and you get there and the energy is totally different. So it's kind of like you don't want to plan for what you think it might be and then it be totally opposite and then you're there and you're like, oh shit, like I don't know what to do now because like I had my thought process behind it was something totally different. So I think like me being able to read crowds is definitely like a big factor in me being able to rock crowds because like I don't necessarily need to like plan out sets or like specific songs or like you go in there with a general idea, but for me it's like I read off of energy. Like if I see it's nothing but women in the crowd, that's what I'm playing for.
Right.
I mean, I have a secret formula, but just reading the crowd, see who's in the crowd, what they're dancing to, what you're playing to, or what they're not, and then structuring whatever it is that you're going to do next based on that. People don't understand DJing is sort of like a puzzle. It's like you literally have to be like 3 songs ahead
Right.
of what you're doing in the moment because it's all energy. At least for me, at least.
Well, and I've said that, like, you know, and I've noticed
Excuse me.
like I asked at a wedding to have a song played. DJ was like, all right, but it was like a slower song, right? So and the energy was like fast paced, right? So he's like, all right, give me a few minutes because he's got to transition
Right,
speed to so it doesn't sound. You can't go from like, you know, like Party Up, right? By DMX to like Lady in My Life by Michael Jackson.
right,
That's not gonna work. One's fast and angry, one's sweet and slow. Like
right, right.
like that's just not gonna go. So I guess in a sense this is you might have kind of still answered this, but I'm gonna kind of skip a couple questions because it's kind of going with the last question. So what do you usually do then? So I guess let me rephrase this question because you did answer this. So let's say you do have a set list,
Right.
like a wedding, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, they have a whole list of songs. Obviously, you know, in that list, you know, you can also
Right.
improvise, right? You know what records go with the records that are on the list. But so if you have like a set list, how's the preparation different versus if you can kind of just freestyle it?
Um, I don't really think it's any different, to
No?
be honest. And I say that because, like, obviously want to hit those songs that they have on that list because obviously those are
Absolutely.
songs that they want to hear. But I feel like if you're good at what you do, which I feel like I'm very, 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 very good at transitioning and blending, um, there's not, at least in my experience, there hasn't been a situation where I felt like, damn, I don't know what to do with this crowd or like how to connect with this crowd at this event right now because like I could play something that's not on the list, but then transition into something that is on the list, and it's not.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so it's not like a real issue, at least for me, at least, where it's like, damn, I'm a deer in the headlights. I don't know what's going on, like because like the music is so different from the list that they gave me versus what I'm playing now. So it's like I've kind of like I said, like I work my ass off when it comes to the DJ stuff. Like I spend at least 2 3 hours a day DJing, like just figuring out different ways to blend in songs or not, or whatever the case may be. So it's like I take a lot of pride in transition and blends for sure. So I don't
Absolutely.
I don't sweat when it comes to stuff like that for real.
Well, that's something else we got to talk to because I listened to that blend the like right before we came on here. I listened to that blend that you had released today, and let me tell you, I'm like you know how you used to go to like wherever and you would get like a blend CD or a mesh up CD, you
Right.
know, like your blends are better than those, like
I
legit,
appreciate that.
like it's just like you really take the time to put the precise songs together, like and I know like with that you have a little more planning to you can do a little more planning because it's not on the fly, right?
Right.
It's it's you can execute it very well, but
You know what it
that
is?
was just
Not
what's
to
that?
say that a lot of times, like when I'm in parties and stuff, it usually is on the fly. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's every like, and I really like to toot my own horn, but like I said, being a musician, it comes like it plays a big part because like hip hop is kind of easy to like transition out of. Like if you got the right BPM, and like you could kind of like match any hip hop song to like any other hip hop song if it's in the same BPM.
Right.
I always say like I feel like R&B music is literally the hardest music to DJ in regards to transitioning and stuff because with singing you gotta know what note they're singing in, what key that they're singing in. You know, if the key matches what the key of the other song is in that you're blending and transitioning between. Um, so like yeah, like I just have a very, very good ear for music, being a musician. So I think that really, 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 really helps with what I do in regards to DJing and transition and stuff. So I just wanted to put that out there. That like,
No, it's definitely it's definitely interesting just to see because it's hard like to do that stuff, as everyone in the crowds or in the audience says 100. you know you know so, and this kind of goes to what you were saying, but how important is the connection with the music that you're playing?
oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Like you gotta like. I feel like if you don't obviously you have to love what you do regardless, but I'm someone that's like genuinely in love with music, like in all kinds of music. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's why, and that's like a lot of compliments that I get too, where it's just like I have my range is super wide in regards to what I can play and what I'm able to play. A lot of DJs in the chat right now, they'll tell you like they'll go to parties and there's certain DJs and that don't have that range where like they only know how to play whatever was hot at that time
Right.
versus someone that could play like the B-side joints or songs that weren't radio hits or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Like, and I like I said, like not to sound like a broken record, but being someone that was so involved in music growing up, I feel like my knowledge of music is like very extensive to the point where it's like that's why I kind of like stand out from other people, or just other DJs that I DJ with on sets or at parties and stuff because it's just like I don't necessarily worry about what a DJ before me was playing because it's just like I can have a sense like all right, same 100 songs that you hear when you go out anyway. So
Right.
let me go left. Let me go left from that. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you can't be scared to take those risks as a DJ because it's just like just being able to mix and throwing different shit is just like super. At least for me, it's like it's super important. I always say people are starting to call me Mr. Do What I Want because I tell people like once you hear me say that on the mic, just know I'm going left.
Yeah,
Like you know what I mean?
yeah,
Whatever,
exactly.
like whatever you think you're about to hear, you're not. Like I'm going left. So like
It's
you hear me
not.
say
It's
I do
not.
what I want,
Yeah.
it's over. Like we going left. So prepare yourself. And I do it unapologetically too. Like it's like I like given like obviously you want to play what people want to hear, but sometimes the things that people want to hear isn't necessarily what they need to hear.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm going left, and y'all gonna enjoy it. Y'all gonna appreciate it.
So there's a question here. It came up on this little question bar I've never seen.
Cool.
NY Rhonda Huggins says, "Do you take requests at events? If yes, do you play it right away? If no, why not?"
I'm not gonna lie, I do, but it really depends on what the vibe is in the song that they want. Like if it's like an R&B song and I'm in a hip hop lane, it's like nah, you gotta wait for that one. You know what I mean? And if I get to it, I get to it. But if it's like in the same like lane that I'm in, so if it's like an Afrobeat song and I'm playing Afrobeat at the time, why not? You know what I mean? Like I don't have any issue with it, but your request to get played a lot faster if you come with some money. You feel me?
Nah. you
Your
know,
request get played a lot faster if you come with that chicken. If you ain't coming
you
with
know,
no
like
money, you know what I
you
mean? You
know,
might you might have to wait a minute.
hell, even if it's $20, money's
Yeah,
money.
yeah, money. You know what I mean? Go
So,
with that money.
what is the importance of respecting the originals? And when I say originals, like obviously DJing is different. It's not you with two turntables
Right,
and crates full of records and flipping the records and scratching them. But how, even though still the equipment still technically has a turntable,
right,
but it looks like a turntable with like an engineer board, right?
right,
Kind of be the best way to put it, at least to me. Like, I'm not a DJ, so that's what it looks like to me.
right,
But how important is it still to, in a sense, pay homage to those before you who, though, like I said, the original, like the people on this list where you
right.
get both to all of them, like your Jam Master Jays, your DJ Jazzy Jeffs, and things of that nature.
You gotta respect it. I'm gonna be honest. If that was still what was needed to do today, I wouldn't be DJing. Hell no. Carrying all those crates and all those records. It's not like you like a laptop where you go and everything's on your laptop, all the music, everything you need. It's like you had DJs that was literally going into clubs with crates like of records. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And you really and sometimes you really have to like really like sort of like how we do in this time where it's like you said, like you have to make set lists. Like you might have 500
Two Letter
records.
Gang.
Yes, sir. What's up, bro? You might have 500 records and you go into a club for an hour set. You literally got to comb through all those records individually and say, I'm bringing this one, I'm bringing this one, I'm bringing that one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm on. Like, you really have to play those records because, like, you can't bring your shit with you. You know
No,
what
and on top of that, you can, like, you go to the DJ, you got that computer.
I
That's your
mean?
tool right there. And you just say you have the tracks in the system. It's not like, okay, it's like, yo, play this song, and then you got to go through this crate
Right,
of music, and then you got to put it on there. You got to scratch it. You got to find it on the, like, yo, like the science now is crazy, but, and I can't speak from experience, but
right.
from the outside looking in, it looks easier,
No,
right?
no, definitely a lot easier. A lot,
Versus back then,
a
like,
lot,
like
a lot
still,
easier.
he said, don't miss those days.
Nah, yeah, I'm
Even
glad.
those,
I
even
mean, not to say that I'm glad, but like obviously I used to go to parties and stuff and I used to see that, you know what I mean? So like just to see where it is now versus that, um, you know, there's always progression in everything in life. So for my case, like I'm happy that it's where it's at now. 'Cause I wasn't doing all that
I
respectfully.
feel you. I
I
feel
wasn't
you.
doing all that.
But what are some of the challenges you still face DJing?
Uh, Challenges. I think more so not being repetitive and what it is that you're playing or how you play it. I feel like as a DJ, sometimes you can get comfortable in certain transitions that you do or certain things that you do. I always try to be mindful of what I'm playing and how I'm playing it. Obviously, like I said, like, and then this is a point that I reached in my DJ career, if that's what you want to call it. Um, like I've started to get kind of like bored with the kind
Right.
of parties that I'm doing. Where it's just like you're kind of boxed into hip hop, R&B, reggae, that box. Um, and that's kind of like why I kind of like adopted the philosophy of like I'll do what I want because it's just like I'm tired of playing the same and not like I said, like, not to sound like a broke record, but I'm tired of
Right.
playing like the same 100 songs that people want to hear because obviously you got to please the crowd and the crowd they know what they know and they want what they want. But
Right.
like I said, as a DJ, you got to kind of take those risks to be able to go left when they want to hear Sexy Red. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm going to play that, but I'm also going to play this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think, just not being repetitive and being able to take chances. Because sometimes I get in my head like, damn, if I play this, are they going to, rock to it? Are they going to fuck with it or whatever? Excuse my language.
No, you're
Or, you
good.
know what I mean? So yeah, I think that would be like my biggest thing. Um, just staying creative and thinking outside of the box in regards to DJing for real.
I, you also have to real know that like music's very always going to be subjective in anything that has to do with it is. So you know, once you got people that really fuck with what you're doing,
Right,
then people gonna really fuck with you with what you're gonna do.
right,
Whatever you're doing's working because you popping up. You
right,
everywhere. You
right,
you you are in the mix of everything.
right,
You know, like I'm trying to think of the song. Oh my God, it's on Ludacris's album, Theater of Mind. It's the song with Lil Wayne, and I'm trying to think of the line in there that just kind of goes perfect with what you're saying. But he's talking about there's a part where he's talking about like moving the crowd and actually emceeing,
right,
right? And that's the same thing. Like DJing is that's their job as well
right.
to move the crowd. And sometimes you just like you said, you got to take risk, and because risk sometimes creates reward. Niggas be thinking I'm deep, intelligent, fool by my phone. And sometimes those rewards create opportunities.
Right. Yeah.
So and opportunity creates money.
Right.
So that's it's all layers, because you just test it with different crowds.
Right.
Every
Right.
crowd is different. Every energy's different,
Yeah.
and that's just how you have to
Right.
build these things is just testing the waters,
Absolutely.
and you know,
And I test that to like, well, I connect that with just the way that I grew up as well. I've
hmm
always been anybody that knows me knows that I've never been someone that like followed the crowd. You know what I mean? Like
right,
always I've always been someone that like saw things and said like, all right, if everybody's doing that, I don't want to do that. Like I want to do my own thing and I want to go this way with it. Um, so like just being able to build that confidence and being who I am and staying true to who I am definitely, coincides with DJing and just what I play and how I play it. Obviously, like all people, sometimes you get in your head about certain things, and um, I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen, but sometimes I have to like give myself a pep talk and say like, yo, you know who the fuck you are?
right,
Like, you know what I mean? Like own that. You know what I mean? Like own that. Like if you've never been one to fit in, like you never
right,
wanted to fit in. You know what I mean? So it's like don't fit in. Like do what you do and like people are going to appreciate it regardless sooner or later. You know what I mean? Like so that's like I do what I want.
right, and I go through that with this show when I first started. My first two guests are two close friends. I knew them
Right.
personally. My third guest I didn't know personally, right? So I was a little more nervous to do her episode because it was just like I don't know her that well.
Right.
And I had to like not that I didn't do research with the first two, but being that I was friends with them, it was easier to create the interview, right? This person, I had to go and go look for stuff. I had to go listen to her prior interviews. I had to really line everything up.
Right.
So now, it's the same thing. Is like, my fear is that one day I'm gonna come on here, and sometimes you see interviews and they're
Right.
awkward, right?
Right.
Like the me as the interviewer is not connecting with the guest.
Right.
So now growing up, I was always a people person, and I can talk to anyone about anything, anytime,
Yeah.
right? So I'm able to utilize that tool to not let that happen, but doesn't mean that it might not happen,
Right.
So when it's just the same thing, it's trying to figure out how to do the same thing in a sense, just differently.
Right.
How to add new things, new layers, new this, new that.
Absolutely. That's a fact. That is a
So
whole fact.
the relationship between the DJ and the crowd is crucial for an event or a party or what have you. How do you balance exactly? You've kind of answered this, but how do you balance giving them what they want versus something new?
Um, there's I feel like there's no real answer for that. You can't, like I said, it's just a risk.
Yeah,
It's like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's like you don't know, and that goes for everything in life. You know what I mean? Like you don't know the outcome of anything if you don't at least try. You know what I
right.
mean? Like, and one of my favorite quotes is by Kanye West, and he said that like people are so scared to lose that they don't even try, and it's like
Yeah,
that's a real thing where like the fear of like something not working out is kind of like when you really think about it in hindsight, it's kind of like a crazy, weird ass concept when you think about it because it's just like you're literally making up an outcome in your head of how something is going to be that you haven't done yet. You know what I
right.
mean? So it's just like you really don't know if you don't try. Like so, it's like fuck it. Like the worst that can happen, and that's like the mindset I have now is that like okay, they don't like it, but being equipped with the right tools so that if they don't like it, well, I can transition out of the song in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I
Can
mean?
transition
So,
to something they do like, and then it's like, hey,
right. So it's like you just got to do it. Like that's the answer. Is that you just really got to just be able to take risk and live with the outcome regardless of what it is and not be discouraged if it doesn't work out in your favor. So I just do it.
absolutely.
And I let them know beforehand that it's coming. So it's not a surprise. I do what I
Right.
want.
Yeah,
And they know
you
when
do
they
what
hear
you
it.
want.
They know when they hear it. God damn it, Tommy about to do
we
some
about
weird shit.
we about to
So
hashtag
yeah,
that for sure.
you about
Tommy
to
does what he
you about to
wants.
pop out and show niggas. You better buckle up. You better buckle up. It's about to get real weird in here.
That's all right. Weird is good. If we weren't weird as people, we'd all be the same and we'd be boring.
Shouts to weirdos. I love weirdos. We run the
That's
world.
it.
God damn it.
So, do you feel like a crowd appreciates complex DJing? And when I say complex,
Scratch.
because I think to me DJing's complex.
Right.
Like it's just way too much
Right.
science, right? Like you said, you got to be like 3 to 4 songs ahead. So like you gotta be, and then that's in between everything else. Like if like someone comes and hits you with a
Right.
song, if you're at
Right.
a wedding and you got to transition to do transition to the hosting role, right?
Right.
Like how do you ease into that? Like and then once that part's done, you start back into the music. Like it's a lot of transitioning and
Right.
a lot of transitioning to based on the event. But do you think crowds and people really appreciate that portion of it?
I don't think they know, to be honest. They don't know. I feel like a lot of people think DJing is just up there pressing buttons. And there's like a meme that
No,
always goes around that. And that's
it's
totally
definitely
not what it is. Like, you know what I
not
mean? Like
at all.
like DJing is complex but it's simple at the same time. But it's like if like I said, if you don't put the work in to conquer the complexities of it, then of course it's going to be hard for the most for the average person or DJ or whatever. But like, it's not just pushing buttons. Like literally, like you got to constantly engage with the crowd. Like you said, it's multiple facets of it. Where it's like you have to do it and still read the room and still plan 3 4 songs ahead and still engage with the crowd on the mic and still take requests and still read the energy and still be able to be in a space where there's so much distraction from women dancing, shaking ass, and you looking like, oh, okay, that's going on over there. You know what I mean? Like for real, it's like it's like
Yeah.
there's so many times I'm DJing, I'm just like, oh, she really throwing her ass in a circle. I want to go over there, and it's like, oh, I can't do that because we
Next
got
song.
concentrate. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's like you can throw your ass, like come over here and do that. You know what I mean? So it's very it's very like I don't think people know how much actually goes into like a DJ set and how much anxiety may be filled in it if you don't have that confidence that you got going that you need in order to get the job done. It's a lot that goes into DJing. And yeah, like I really just don't think they know what DJing entails. I think they think it's just, oh, we're playing songs and pushing buttons. It's like, no, it's really a science and a methodology to it where it's just like, bro, we really have to be, it's like Tetris.
Right.
It's literally like this piece goes here, okay. This song goes here. This song would make them react this way. Then I got to think 3 songs ahead. Like, all right, now the mood. I always say DJing is like a book. It's like
Right.
you got to gradually build the energy up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's all mood and how you know how you build out a party. So I think they
Yeah.
just don't know.
I think I agree with that sentiment. Because I've been like, I do photography as well. And there's events I'll go to and Raps will be DJing and I'll see him make 4 trips to his car,
Right.
carry everything in, set everything up, get those speakers going, and it's like, whoa, like, yo, you got a lot going on here, bro.
Right.
Like, and I've seen, like I said, he did my wedding. I've seen him do weddings and I've seen him do small events, so I've seen both sides of the spectrum, but it's definitely interesting. And I don't think, and like I said, like you said, many people don't even think about those things.
Right.
Like I think about that all the time. Like, like I remember I seen this thing. It was like a survey and it said, should you feed your vendors at a wedding? Like, so to me, like if I'm going and I'm shooting a photography gig, I don't expect the people doing the wedding to feed me, but it is a nice gesture. Me, on the other hand, I'm gonna account like, yeah, even though I'm paying you to do a job, you're still in the building. You're still here 4, 5, 6 hours, and you were the DJ at Daria's wedding, and it was a lot to get in and out of that
Right.
building.
Right. Hell yeah.
Like yo, that 4 floors, like yo,
Yeah.
it was a lot to get in and out of that building. So it's definitely something people should at least look into.
Hell yeah. I actually put that as in my contract. Like if I'm DJing for a certain amount of hours or over a certain amount of hours, like a meal has to be included. Because it's like,
Mm,
bruh, yeah,
mm, that's interesting.
yeah.
That that's I
Especially
kind
like events
of
like weddings and stuff where it's just like, all right,
well,
cool.
well, especially like sometimes you might have to set up 2 locations, right?
Hmm.
Like if
Share
they
more.
need you to do the music for the wedding and that's in another location than where the reception is, you might need 2 setups
Yeah,
of some sort. But but I have to ask you, during that wedding, there were some jazz renditions of songs playing.
yeah. Hmm.
And where can I find those? Those were amazing.
YouTube,
YouTube?
YouTube. If you type in jazz, like just jazz versions of this or that, like or jazz mix of '90s R&B songs, like it'll
Okay.
pop up. Hmm.
Man, because I was like, my wife was like, these are really good. I said, yeah, hell yeah, they're good. I said, I gotta find this.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So now I want to transition into something that's a little personal. You've been transparent about it, so I don't think you'll mind talking about it.
I already
So
know
I'm
where
just
you're
gonna
going
go.
with it. Let's go where. Let's go there.
All right. So do you know how I located you? Did I ever tell you exactly how I came to find that video?
I don't know how, but I know it was because of the mental health post that I made.
So I struggle with depression,
Right.
anxiety, um, and I have a friend. Her name's
Okay.
Kyra Grassi, and her and I are very, very close. And the one day she says to me, I was just venting about something, just in conversation,
Right.
nothing out of the ordinary. She goes, do you know Tommy? And I'm like,
Right.
not ringing a
Right.
bell.
Right.
So then she's like, oh, well, he's a DJ, and and he kind of is dealing with a lot of the same things you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
He posted this video like an hour ago.
Right.
So, so she sent me the video, or she told me where to find it. And you were sitting, I believe, at the college. I want to say.
I was
So
in
you
Yonkers.
were,
In Yonkers.
yo, it looked,
At the
yo,
waterfront. Yeah.
where you looked, it looked like you were at a bench near, like, I
Yeah.
know we
Yeah.
were. That's where it looked like you were.
Yep.
So you're sitting there, and you were talking about really everything that you had been feeling,
Right.
and it really resonated with me. Um, it's real hard, and people don't understand that those are difficult things to deal with.
Absolutely.
You know, when I started driving for Nabisco, I had so much anxiety going through Queens and the Bronx that I was getting chest pains.
Right.
Like just always, like I've been a delivery driver for like 13 years, but it's always been up here in the Hudson Valley. The
Right.
furthest I've gone down is Rockland. The highest in Sullivan I've gone is Roscoe. The highest in Ulster County's been like Pine Hill. So it's just going down there and not knowing the city, not knowing the areas, not
Right.
understanding the geography, and there always being 2.5 billion people, it feels like, down there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing the customers, just not, not always honking, and just always having to be aware. So I want to know what things, I don't even know how to say it. What things contribute to you probably partially feeling that way? Like for me, I've had a lot of, I got a story as well. Like who doesn't, right? But what contributed to me was 2020. As I told you, Naj Murph died.
Mm-hmm.
He's everywhere I am, of
Mm-hmm.
course. And that really, like, really broke my spirit,
Right.
like, for real. I don't think that, I think the only pain in my life that's left to feel that will hurt more than that is if, God forbid, one of my children were to go, my wife or my parents.
Right.
Because that shit was just not right. And from that moment, just a lot of just things just really started piling up on me. But for you, like, what caused you? What kind of things can you attest to that causes that for you?
So I've only had one real, and that's what I was talking about in that video. One real, like a really bad episode with depression, and that was like 2 years ago, obviously when it was going on. Um, and to be honest, it was so hard for me to deal with because I didn't know where it was coming from at all.
Yeah.
For me, I thought it was seasonal depression. So I'm thinking, because I hate the winter. It was during the winter, like so. It was like
you
you
know,
know,
winter's depressing
yeah, you know what I
no
mean?
matter
So like
what.
I'm really like, damn, like seasonal depression is really kicking my ass right now. And
Right,
then I realized that nah, bro, this ain't seasonal depression. This is a full-fledged episode of depression, and I really, 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 really had no clue where it was coming from at all. And that's what made it so difficult in the moment because I was just like, if you have stressors in your life and things going on, it's like you can kind of tackle what it is that is causing it.
right.
But me not knowing what was causing it was like, God damn, like what the hell is going on here? What am I feeling and why am I feeling it and what is causing me to feel this? So I think that's what made my little episode that I had. Not I'm not even gonna say little episode, my big ass episode uh with depression even worse because I really just didn't know where it was coming from or what was triggering it to actually be taking place for real.
So what did I and I remember in that video because it was a little long and I watched it,
Hmm.
which is fine, and I watched it a while ago. I tried to find it again to freshen up because I I wanted to talk about it.
Right.
I couldn't find it though. But I want to know, like, because I remember vividly you saying during that video that the DJing was starting to take off. You were starting to get a lot of gigs and you were just canceling.
Hmm.
Just canceling because you just like were depressed.
Hmm.
Like, and I mean, so what did you do or what were some of the things that you did that helped you get back to being on top of it because it's not an easy thing to control, right? Sometimes you don't have control over it.
You don't.
Like it just like
Mm-mm.
one of my favorite rappers is Method Man, and people don't know he suffers from anxiety and depression.
Right.
This is a guy who's been rapping with Wu-Tang Clan since the 80s, the late 80s, and it's just like, yo, you are a well-known figure, you act now, you do this, and like, yo, you're suffering from depression. Like,
Right.
what are some things that you think you've done to kind of get back to being closer to who you were or back to that, to who you are entirely?
I think the defining moment in my depression is when I had thoughts of suicide. That,
Mm,
that was the point where, like, anybody that knows me knows that, like, I'm a very happy person. Like, I've always been very cheerful, very, like, I always do things to try to make other people smile. Like, I always put people's happiness and their, well being before mine. I'm one of those type of people. So when I was going through that and, like, suicide crossed my mind, I was like, wait, like, being depressed is one thing, but me feeling like I don't want to be here because of the depression was like very like, wait, hold on. Something ain't right. You know
right.
what I mean? Like given like this was like the first time that I really experienced it. Well, it was the very first time I ever experienced like these feelings and just those thoughts. So like I was just like, this ain't me, bro. Like I don't know what's going on, but this ain't Tommy, bro. Like this ain't me. Um, so that was like the defining moment where it's just like something got to change. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? And I said this in a video. Like, if it wasn't for my daughter, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
Shout
I
out
make
to
me
her.
emotional talking
She's
about it. Like, so if I start tearing up,
it's
like,
all good. Let it
forgive me.
out. This is
You know
why
what I'm
it's
saying?
called
But
on the shower, man.
it was
Be honest.
it was rough, bro. It was rough. It was real rough, and like I thank God, like for my daughter because man, man, if it was just it was crazy, bro. It was crazy.
Absolutely. Real quick, another question here I got. What tools did you use to cope with your depression?
Um, Therapy. eventually. Um, I don't. I think it was on the tail end of it where I kind of realized that I kind of had to like get back to doing things um that made me me. That's a part of me that I lost, like in
Hmm.
between fatherhood and just trying to figure out the direction that I wanted my life to go in and the things that I wanted to do in my life. Um, so getting back to doing things that I enjoyed doing, like writing poetry, which I had stopped doing around that time, or that I wasn't doing around that time, or making music, or being able to reach out to people that I knew I could trust with what I was feeling at the time, and being able to talk to somebody outside of therapy. My mom, um, yeah, like I didn't. It was so new to me that I didn't know how to cope with it because I never been through it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was kind of learning on the fly, where it was like, you know, I got to figure out what I need to do in order to shake what it is that I'm feeling, because if not, I'm gonna fucking crash out. You know what I
A-
mean?
Absolutely.
So
I mean, you got it. Like, I had some time where I was in a really, really dark place. Like I would like there were days where I didn't want anyone around.
right,
Like I didn't want my kids around. And that was only primarily because every little thing they were doing, I was lashing out
right,
due to it.
right,
Like I didn't want my wife around. Like I wasn't, and me, I'm like big, like I'm all like usually I'm very accessible. Like so like people were like hitting me like, yo, you good? Like because if I don't hit you back, like people be thinking that there's something wrong. Like I
right.
just wasn't out there.
Excuse me.
Oh no, no problem. And it's not an easy thing to cope with. It's not an easy thing to deal with for people who go through it. And it's sad that it's taken this long for mental health to be taken as serious as it is now. And it's even harder for people, men of our complexion,
Hmm.
because you're kind of programmed,
Right,
right, to say like, oh, I can't do that. I gotta stay with it. I gotta stay strong. I gotta do this. Thanks, Mike. I gotta stick with this. I gotta elevate and have this front. Between me and my wife, there's 5 kids. 4 of them are girls. So
right,
like for me, it's always like gotta toughen up,
right,
gotta be strong, gotta have I gotta have enough strength to give to them.
right.
And it's not easy.
It's not.
It's
It's
not.
really not.
And prior to that video, did you ever make like any other video talking about it? Did you talk to anyone about it? Because sometimes that transparency, even if it's just you talking to the camera and putting it out there, it's therapeutic for some people.
Yeah. I actually made that post because, like, obviously it was Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, obviously. So I kind of want to bring awareness to the fact that, men actually have feelings and go through shit and need to talk and go through depression and battle depression. And, suicide is big within the male population.
Right.
Um, and just depression. And then, depression usually leads, if you don't cater to it, or, leads to suicide in most cases or certain cases. But, but yeah, I just wanted to bring awareness. And the thing that's crazy about it, and when I put the video out, obviously I had like a wide range of people that reached out to me, men, women, everybody. But there's one case in particular where someone that started to come to that came to like our R&B Me Please events. I had met them. Well, they came to an event that I had at Zen Lounge, and were there, I met their son. And when I posted the video, the mom had reached out to me that comes to the events, and she disclosed to me that her son had committed suicide a week prior to me releasing that video. And I might get a little choked up right now, but she had
Oof.
said
It's
something to me that,
heavy.
and I met her son at the event, and she was just like, I wish that I would have let him like converse with you a little bit more and like talk to you. And that kind of like made me realize that like with power comes great responsibility. And not saying that like I'm like the most powerful man ever or whatever the case may be, but I have I have influence,
Yes.
and how you use that influence is very powerful. And for me, it was in that moment, it was like, what if I would have put this video out a week prior?
Mm.
What if I would have put this video out a week prior,
Mm.
and maybe he saw this video? And the crazy thing about it was that I was like, I wanted to make that video, that same exact video with that story explaining like that season of my life for months. And not that I was scared to put it out, but it was just like I didn't know how, like how,
It,
not how to put it out, but I just, you put out things happen when it's meant to happen.
right.
Um, so just putting out that video and then hearing that, it kind of like made me think like, bro, like you with the influence that you have and with the power that you have, or if power is the correct word, I don't like that power because it seems like it's like I have authority over people, but I don't, and I don't want to.
Right.
But it's like you got to do good with what it is that you offer the world, regardless of what it may look like. It's like
Okay.
if you know that you have influence and you went through things that may connect with other people, like example, me going through the depression phase that I had, and I know that a lot of men battle depression, that they may not be able to speak out on it because of fear of how people might look at them or whatever the case may be. It's like sometimes it needs to be a face like mine where people recognize me in the streets or whatever the case may be and may think that, oh, Tommy has it all together. Tommy has his shit together. Tommy has whatever. No, the fuck I don't. I'm just like you. I battle with issues and trials and tribulations and the ups and downs that life throws at us every single day. Like every day I battle to this day with like, am I good enough? Or what could I be doing better? Or, little spurts of depression that I may have here and there. It's like I'm just like everybody else. Don't let what I do or the recognition that I get from what I do make you feel like I have it all together. Trust me, I don't. I'm far from perfect. I don't want to be perfect, but like my shit is not all together. You know what I mean? So that, that video just really it really just made me realize that like I'm grateful for what it is that I'm doing. I'm grateful for my ability to connect with people and the energy and the aura that I get off that makes people gravitate toward me. But it's like at this point in my life, it's like if what I'm doing isn't uplifting and changing lives and isn't bringing awareness to the things that need to be aware, then I don't feel like I'm doing or living or walking in my purpose at all.
Woo.
You know what I mean? Like my sole goal, and this reverts back to me saying there's different facets of me that people don't know because I don't necessarily want the recognition from the things but there's families in Peace Girls that I've helped that I've never disclosed, you know what I mean? Like with money, or there's things that I've done on an activist type of basis where I don't disclose that I'm doing it because I don't want the recognition from doing it. I'm doing it because it's genuinely what I want to do in my heart,
Like,
and like I
to your heart,
right, and I genuinely care about the causes and the things that I put forth energy toward. I'm not doing it for people to be like, oh, Tommy did this. Like he's such a great man. I don't give a fuck about your claps. If I'm not affecting and changing the lives of the people around me that I come in contact with every day, then what the fuck am I doing with the influence and the power that I do have? Fuck the power. People will kill for the attention and the notoriety that I get from doing shit that I genuinely just do out of the kindness of my heart, but they're doing it because they want that attention.
They want the clout.
They want the clout.
They want the Facebook likes and
that.
the shares and all that, and it ain't nothing like that.
Fuck that. I don't care. Like, and that's one thing that I battle with, even within the DJ realm. Like I have a lot of DJ haters. I do. There's a lot of people that dap me up, and then one energy, and then energy be totally different when they're not around me. Cool. I'm not tripping on that. But it's like, how can you be mad at me that I put in work to get to the position that I'm in, and I'm outworking your dumb ass? Excuse my language, but I'm outworking you. You're mad at me because I'm outworking you.
And you know, everyone has that opportunity to do that, right? Like, and really put themselves on a pedestal,
right?
But if you're not putting in the dedication and you're not putting in the hard work, what are you doing? And I use this analogy. People think it's corny, but it's the truth. I'm a humongous wrestling fan.
Right.
I'm sure you can see the plaques on the wall behind me. I've been a wrestling fan since I was 7. And one of the first wrestlers I watched was Stone Cold Steve Austin. And they were interviewing him backstage. And he said, they were talking about the title, the WWF Championship. And he goes, are you going to win it? And they're like, yeah, I'm going to win it. He goes, if you ain't here to win the WWF Championship, what are you doing here? Why are you here?
Right.
If you're not here to be the best,
right?
Why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
And like people think it's corny, but it's the truth. Like, if you're not here to be the best that you can be while you're here, why are you here?
Right.
You know, and I just have to say, it's kind of weird. I think this was just meant for us to align, because you said the word perfect. So I'm going to tell my story, if you don't mind.
Brother.
Najmer's death meant more than any other death for a specific reason.
Right.
We met in 5th grade. Kids used to make fun of me. He told them that not to make fun of me, that I was cool. We became friends. He was the first. I was the first person's house he was like allowed to spend the night at. You know, when you're kids, you want to have sleepovers with your friends. His mother was strict. But she knew my mother, so it kind of was it was kind of like a crossover, right? So years ago, I want to say, I don't know, like when Facebook first started becoming a thing, I posted this status about killing myself. And I was like, I deleted it like right away. I posted it, and then like a minute later, I deleted it. I didn't think anyone saw it. My phone rings. It's Najee. Pick up. And he's like, yo. I'm like, what's up, bro? And he's like, I seen that status, and I'm glad you moved. I'm like, what you mean? I tried to play it off like I didn't post it, right? I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, Mike, come on, bro. I seen it. He was like, listen, like, we had a conversation. We were on the phone for about an hour. He kind of talked me off the ledge. But the last thing he said before we hung up the phone was, you're here for a reason. You cannot kill yourself. You cannot leave this planet until you fulfill your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I don't know what that is. You don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
You may not know for 5 years. You may not know for 10 years. Conveniently, 10 years later is when I found my purpose. And he's been gone almost 5 years, and it's not easier
Right.
because all this stuff that is happening, I have a chance to take this podcast somewhere really, really big. I'm not going to say where yet because I don't want to, ruin it or what have you until I have everything lined up. But, it's real difficult for him not to be here to see it. It's real difficult. Like people say, oh, he's watching from above. I'm like, yeah, that's well and good, but he's not here in the physical sense
Right.
to say or say, yo, like, what are we gonna do? What's next? Like he wanted me to be his manager. I don't. I told him I don't know nothing about being a manager. Well, you better figure it out.
Right.
You know. So like for me, you know that that really that really stems because my grandmother died, like both my mom's parents. I was close with them. Death just really depresses me,
Right.
and when someone's real close and then they go, especially unexpectedly, it's like, okay, like I don't know how to channel that emotion, right? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to control it. I don't know how to say, okay, this is what I'm doing or this is what I'm doing, which is why the circle is coming.
Right.
The safe space, as I told you about before. Because it's an open-ended thing. I originally it was going to be for black men, but I just don't feel like that's right because I know men who aren't black that are going through some bad stuff.
Right.
Prime examples. I have a friend who pretty much he's been with his woman for 15 years, give or take. Well, the woman cheated on him, got pregnant. Well, all right, correction. They were split up. She was sleeping with two guys at the same time.
Heifer.
Yeah, still sleeping with him and sleeping with another guy. Both had the same name, Mike. And she ends up pregnant, and the kid's name is Mike, but it wasn't his.
Mm.
Then, more recently, he was giving her money to pay the mortgage on the house, and she was pocketing the money. They called him after a second consecutive missed payment and said, hey, you haven't missed a payment in 13 years. What's going on? And that's what he found out. So you don't know what people are going through. You don't know what demons they're battling. You don't know what they're going through. And I want to say I appreciate your transparency because, through that, I was able to become more transparent for myself
Mm-hmm.
because, I'm always like me. I always make people laugh. I feel like Kevin Hart had a stand up called Laugh at My Pain. And I feel like I hide my pain by bringing laughter to others.
Right.
So, sometimes you have to take time and take transparency and be transparent instead of laughing all the time.
Right. Right.
And so I thank you and commend you for that step of bravery. Because it's a big step. Having trouble finding a therapist, but eventually I'll get one, right?
I can connect you with a resource for sure.
Okay. Okay, yeah, just message it to me. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
So I want to know, on a scale from 1 to 10 right now, how was your mental health?
Um, I want to say 7,
Okay.
8, 7, 8.
7, 8's good. That's pretty healthy. I'm
Oh yeah.
kind of like a 6.
You know what it is when you and this is something that I've learned through therapy and just life experiences. When you you really have to prioritize your happiness. For me, like I carry a lot, and like I said, like I have different facets of me that people don't know, but I carry a lot outside of what you see on social media, DJing, and
Right.
there's a lot of people that count on me for different things. And for a long time, I've always put everybody and everything before my own personal well-being and mental, spiritual, physical, and emotional health. This is the first year of my life, literally, where I don't feel bad saying no. I don't feel bad setting boundaries and not crossing them or allowing people to cross them. It's the first time in my life where I actually know my self-worth. It's the first time in my life where I'm not operating from a space of hurt and pain and chaos. I'm allowing myself to be and to feel what it is that I need to be and to feel in order to overcome the things that I feel are hindering my growth and my progress as a man, as a father, as a professional, as a brother, as a son, as a friend, as a lover when that comes. You and battling the things that you're facing in life, you have to stop pointing the finger at everybody else besides yourself. When you go through things, it's all a personal decision to feel the way that you feel toward a particular thing that's happening in your life. If somebody does you wrong, yeah, of course you could be sad and depressed about it or feel some kind of way about it, but you're making that a conscious decision that you're doing that. Humans,
Absolutely.
humans are flawed. Humans are going to make mistakes. People are going to do things that aren't favorable or desirable to your liking. But how you handle it or how you react to it, that's all on you. So you have to
Absolutely.
have enough self-awareness to say, I understand that this happened and it's making me want to feel this way. But sometimes you have to point the finger inward and say, all right, that happened. How does that make me feel? Or what part did I play in that actually happening?
Right. You have to sometimes look at yourself, look at the person in the mirror and say, what did I do?
Right. And sometimes you didn't do anything.
Nope.
Sometimes you're just dealing with people who are scumbags, or you're dealing with situations that you really don't have no control over.
No.
And there's nothing that you did and to make it happen or be the way that it is. But at the same time, you still have to look inward and say, all right, you have to process the emotion and not become it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
That one I'm gonna write down. You're gonna get your, but I gotta
For
write
real though,
down.
like it once you become the emotion, then you've allowed whatever situation that caused the emotion to conquer you as a being. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that might sound like a little deep, and I apologize if it sounds
No.
like very like spiritual and deep,
No.
but like,
No. Look. I would never, ever. I named this honest hour for a reason.
right,
Let it flow. Never have to apologize. Just be who the conversation's gonna go where it's gonna go. We're gonna be who we are.
right. So it's just you just kind of gotta live in the present moment. And anybody that's watching this right now, and to you too, Mike,
Absolutely.
there's a book called The Power of Now. I don't know if you ever heard of it, if you ever read it.
I'm
I,
writing it down.
I literally call that book my Bible. And
Excuse me.
now you could the concepts in it are so simple that crazy that we don't necessarily think of it like that. And the whole concept of the book is being present in the very moment that you're in, like right now. So I ask you this, without thinking, right?
Okay.
And being in this exact moment, like right now,
Okay.
do you have any problems? Without thinking about the future or the past, like right now, do you have any issues?
Yes.
Right now, like me and you talking in this moment, right
Oh.
now. What,
Directly. Direct. I thought you meant like life.
no,
Like
like
in
right
this.
now.
No.
Or do you have like in this situation, like we're talking, discussing whatever we're discussing, do you have any issues?
No.
Therefore, when you think, right, your issues are either what? In the future that you're thinking about, or something in the past that has already happened that you can't change. Right?
Okay.
So right now, no matter what time it is, it's always now.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
What time? Time is not real. It's only now.
Yeah. Time's just the world's way of.
It's a restriction.
Yes. But even more than that, time is the way's world of scheduling you, right? Because guess what? I got a normal job. I gotta be there 6 a.m., right? I'm supposed to get off 2:30. That's a schedule of sense. I do this show 8 o'clock. That in a sense, it's a schedule. To a point, you're right. It's a restriction in a
So
sense
like
as well.
that's what the whole purpose of that book is to be present in the moment, like right now. Like without thinking, nobody has issues. The only time you have issues is when you start to think.
And a lot of times you start to like overthink,
Yeah.
and
It's
that and
always
that's
it's always
when
about what is or what has already been or what could be. It's what could be or what has already been. What has already been you can't change regardless. Like when things happen, you can't go back in time and change it. So why focus your energy, emotion, and time on it? Like it's done. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. And then when you think about things that could potentially happen, what goes back to the conversation or the topic where I said like you'd never know what could happen if you don't try. It's like you can't make up a scenario of something that's going to happen 3 days ago and be stressed out about it. I mean, 3 days from now and be stressed out about it because who the fuck says you're going to be alive in 3 days? So you're stressing over some shit that hasn't even happened, that you can't. You know what I mean? Like you're not even living in
you're
that
not
moment.
you're not even there. It's potentially can
Yeah,
happen,
it's
but
kidnapping.
it's just like listen. A lot of people in the world drive, right? You're not gonna not drive to work because you can potentially get in an accident. Thank
Thank you, boy.
you, thank you. That's the thing. You potential things can happen any day, anytime, right? So so you're not going to not drive to work due to that, and it's the same. And when you explain it that way, you simplify it in a sense.
Right.
Like you kind of it makes sense. Not kind of, it makes a lot of sense to really just take that moment and just say, okay, I can't do nothing about this. You know what's gonna happen is gonna happen. The guy I work with, one of his lines, he always says it every day. What's done is done.
Mm-hmm.
You
You
know,
you you really gotta, and this is where I found the most peace in my life, and where I realized the most like stress and like anxiety comes from when things happen, right?
okay.
Look at it with You have to look at it with gratitude, whether if it's bad or good. You start to feel depressed and stressed out or and anxious or whatever when you try to like control the natural flow of life. Period. When
Okay.
things happen, it was meant to happen that way. So it's like I could sit here and be mad about it, or I could see there's always a positive to everything. Always. Always a positive. But we're so conditioned to always focus on the negative and to be so hyper attentive to the negative that we miss the underlying positive that's in it. So if your car breaks down for whatever reason, fuck, my car broke down. I got to spend all this money. I don't know how I'm gonna get around. Who says that if your car didn't break down the way fate is, that you weren't gonna get into a car accident that day, or something was gonna happen with your car that may have, you know what I mean? Like you really just have to embrace whatever is happening in your life and say, look, all right, like I said, this is making me feel this way. I'm processing it. I'm feeling this way. I'm not going to become the emotion that I'm feeling, but I also have to be full of gratitude because it could be worse. It could be
Right.
worse.
Right. And it's kind of not funny, but ironic you say that because I remember when I was like maybe like 11, me and my mom both love Red Lobster. So we were over in Red Lobster in Poughkeepsie, and like it was weird. It was they were taking a really long time to get us our food, but we get our food, we eat, and then we were going to my uncle's house on the way back, and there was a bad accident near his house, and my mom firmly believed at that time. I was like I said, I was like I said 9 or 12, somewhere in there. But so I didn't really understand it. But my mom firmly believed that God made our food take longer
Mm-hmm.
because of that accident.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Hey, that's how you.
fate, fate works in mysterious ways,
Mm-hmm. You're
and
exactly where you're supposed to be when you're
Mhm.
there. I'm like, and that's something that I've come to realize that like even when I get in my head about like DJing or given that like I've conquered so much or I've done so much in the short 4 year span that I've been DJing, but I always get in my head like, damn, I want to do more. Like I just want more. I just want more. And then I have to really remind myself like, bro, you're exactly where you're supposed to be at within this journey. Like, and given that like my journey is a little bit different, I guess, from the average person or the average person that starts to DJ because like things happen so fast for me. Um,
Mhm.
you gotta. If I say anything before we get off of here,
Yeah,
it's like you have to live your life. You have to embrace your life. You have to embrace everything that happens in your life. You have to be have a positive attitude in regards to any and everything that happens in your life. You only get one life to live, so you gotta do as much as you can. Try as much as you can.
Mhm.
Say fuck fear. Anything that burns a fire in your soul, do it. Like just live your life, bro. Because as we know, this is probably like the only life that we get. We don't know. I mean, so it's like why not just leave it all on the table? What ifs are for fucking losers. If you have to say what if to something that you want to do, you're not living your life.
Absolutely. And fear actually has two meanings. It can mean forget everything and run, or for me, it can be face everything and oh gosh, I had the word in my head. Face everything, and I'm just gonna use the word realm right now. It's the closest word to what I was thinking of. But you can definitely say a lot for that. And it's about doing more. I show this every episode. So uh, this here, here's my vision board for this
So
year. Now, like I didn't get all the way through it, but there's a lot on here, and I've at least tapped into about 80% of this board.
so
And will I accomplish everything on it in this calendar year? No, but what I can say is that I've started that process, right?
mhm,
So now when I continue that vision board on the flip side for 2025, now I'm already started. Now it's okay, what's next?
mhm,
Where do I want to go next? Because one goal I have is to have this podcast and have some kind of radio show or
right.
be some kind of TV personality. That's something I want to do. I like to talk. I might as well get paid to do it.
That's a fact.
You
And I
know
always tell people, baby steps are better than no steps.
exactly.
Baby steps are better than no steps.
So two more. One you kind of already did, but I want to know, just to close out the DJ portion.
Mhm.
Out of all the events you've done, can you name your top 5 favorites?
Top five favorites. R&B picnic for sure.
Hey, gal says scared money don't make no money. You right about that?
Facts. Yeah. What's up? R&B picnic. Um, I did Glorilla's album release party.
Okay.
Um, what else? Damn, you know you've done a lot of parties when you came to think.
There's a lot of stuff on there.
Miami, um, the residency that I have in Miami, that was like a big thing for me.
Okay.
Um, Shouts to Red Bar. Red Bar is a vibe. Um, Trying to think of some big. Oh, this is the party that really put. This is probably my favorite party. I did a '90s 2000 party, in Poughkeepsie, and that was the party that really, 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 really put me on the map and the 845 for real.
Ooh.
That party, that was the party where if you didn't know me, you were like, "Who the fuck is this kid? Where the fuck did he come from?" Like
Mm-hmm.
he's one of them ones. So that was literally my favorite party. And then was that four?
Yeah. Yep.
Um, and then I'll have to say like the R&B picnic. Uh, well, I think the R&B picnic, the one that my daughter attended, was my favorite event because that was like her first time actually seeing me do what I do, and just to have her there was like very, very special to me.
Holds a place near and dear.
Yeah, that was the party where she was like, she asked me afterwards, she's like, "Are you famous?" I'm like, "Nah, babe." I was like, "No, I'm not famous, babe. Like, I'm not famous."
Maybe one day, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, even though I have no desire to be famous, but if it happens, it happens.
It could definitely end up going that direction.
Right. Yeah, and I think just any opportunity that I get to DJ, I think is like dope for me. Like I'm able to sustain a lifestyle that like I'm proud of from DJing because that's my only job. I DJ full time, and just being able to take care of my daughter and be able to do the things that I like doing, that in itself is just very humbling, and I'm very appreciative and grateful for the ability to do that. Doing something that I've come to love doing in DJing. So just being able to DJ any party is on that list.
Wow, that's even more impressive because not for nothing, and it's not a shot at any other DJ that I know, but all of them work regular jobs. Like on top of that, you know what I mean? Like they all work a regular job and DJ. I mean, they love to do it, of course, but
Right,
like it's hard to transition to something that's kind of like could be considered a hobby,
right,
right? In a sense,
hmm,
like if you allow it to be a hobby, it's going to be a hobby.
right,
But it's real hard to traditionally do it full time because like you you also have to like get into the realm like now. I have like this opportunity in front of me, right? And it's a big opportunity. But the thing is, in order to get this opportunity to work properly, I have to charge a very high price tag
right,
because to get them the artist to where they want to go, it's expensive for me.
right.
So I don't want to pay for it, or I shouldn't have to.
Hmm.
I should be able to find a way to profit. So it's kind of the same thing. You have to really make sure the price you're charging, is really gonna make it worth your time because you're away from your daughter. This is your means of living.
Right.
So that is respectful because that's not an easy thing to do. Is to take your passion or something you're passionate about and make it the job,
You know what's
make it the
crazy too?
time.
You know why it's even more special for me?
Why is
Because
that?
I literally quit my job during the pandemic. Literally during the pandemic
Wow.
to DJ full time. Mind you, I just started DJing around this time, so it was not like I had residencies and gigs lined up. Like
Yeah.
I literally quit my job because they was taking advantage of the fact that there was a pandemic and they felt like they can control people because like people were out of work. And I literally looked at my boss at the time and was like, "Oh, fuck you. I'm out of here." And I doubled down and I betted on myself in regards to DJing. And I think that's where the separation comes with me and other people because like I'm not afraid to take risks, bro. Like I'm not. Like it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But one thing you can bet on when it comes to me, I'm going to fucking do it. Everything that I said I was going to do in my life, I've done it. Like literally everything. And it's not because like of luck or I put the work in. I want to put the work in. And like I said
Mhm.
earlier in the show, I'm going to outwork everybody. Everybody. And if I any field that I jump in, I'm going to figure out the tools and equip myself with the knowledge and the things necessary to outwork every single last one of you. And you're not going to outwork me. You can say, oh, you're not. You're not. I'm not going to allow you to. So that's why I always tell them, niggas better buckle up because it's going to get rough. I'm not letting up on you. I'm not letting up. So you can lollygag and take your time, but while you sleeping and thinking shit is sweet, I'm plotting 4 steps ahead. I'm working. I'm networking. I'm working on my craft. I'm networking with DJs. I'm sitting down with DJs. I'm learning new shit. I'm doing all this stuff because when it's time to go to a party and really level up and be memorable from the party, they gonna say that nigga right, that kid right there, he
Mhm.
didn't fucking come here to play. His transitions was on point. His music selection was on point. His energy was on point. And you know what that comes from practice and putting the work in. So yeah, like I bet it on myself. And like I said, 4 years in, DJing only. I mean, obviously I have other businesses because I'm very financially savvy with my money and
Right.
just financial literacy. So I know how to use my money to make more money. But in
Right.
regards to what I do to make money, that's my sole source of income. And I did that by working my ass off, putting in the work, and not allowing my fear to overpower my desire to be something. So, yeah, to make that.
You know, you
Yeah, I mean,
can't, and you can't be afraid, which is one thing I'm starting to do, is
Trey, what up,
not be
Trey?
afraid. So even though we've been here for 2 hours, I want to, before we get into the final nuances, if anyone wants to find you or book you for their event, what are your handles? Where can they contact you to find you for any DJ needs?
Um, Obviously, you guys can reach out to me on Instagram at Tommmydidit. That's all my handles on social media. Tommmydidit, so it's kind of easy to find once you type it in. I recently today appointed my partner that I do R&B Me Please with, Jay, as my manager. So you can definitely reach out to him now moving forward, just so that takes that off my plate in regards to bookings and stuff like that. Yeah, my social media handles is Tommy Did It, so you can find me anywhere on that with that handle, and yeah, that's how you can book me.
Now, like I said, I don't know if you've ever watched, and I feel like you've already done this through the last 45 minutes, but I end each show with a positive ending message. You've given a lot of positive energy through this whole episode, but if there's one more thing that you could say to me, to whoever's in the audience, and shout out to the audience tonight.
Thanks.
Um,
Yeah,
y'all rocked out strong. The whole show. I appreciate it. I think I've done a lot of episodes, and this one's definitely one of my favorite ones. I have to say,
appreciate
definitely,
that.
yeah, appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate that.
But if if you had to say one more thing, positive, uplifting to the audience or anyone who's gonna watch this back, what would it be?
Um, be yourself, love yourself, and embrace yourself. I feel like a lot of people are afraid to be who they truly are, and uh, worrying about what other people think of the decisions and the things that they choose to do with their life. Keyword, their life. Keywords. Um, Love yourself. Give yourself grace. Give yourself room to be flawed. Embrace those flaws. understand that you're going to have off days. You're going to have days that are beautiful. You're going to have days that are ugly. But all in all, it's still a day that you're able to experience, to feel. Um, and always trust yourself, man, and anything that you do and anything that you want to do. Don't let fear consume your thoughts or your actions or your movements. And just love your life, man. Love your life.
You know, it's a beautiful way to end it. I want to thank you again for coming on. Everyone, please look me up on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. All the episodes are there. Every last one. From episode 1, which was Danielle Morton, to this is episode 32 with Tommmydidit.
Yeah,
Next week I will be back. I was with who was supposed to be last week's guest, Adobo Jigs. Had a little technical difficulties, but we're gonna have that next week. Monday I'll be here with Nerd Camp Sports as always. You know, Tommy, much love, my brother. We will stay in touch.
hell yeah.
Just send me that connect when you have a moment.
Absolutely.
Everyone in the audience, thank you again. You've been great. Everyone have a
And
good night. Be
Mike, I want to
safe.
say this for the record too. I
Uh-huh.
appreciate you for having me. And I want to tell you this. Do not get discouraged with what you're doing by how many views you got, the interactions that you get.
Mm-hmm.
If this is something that you're really truly passionate about, bro, keep at it. I don't give a fuck if it's 2 motherfuckers watching this shit or 1,000. Doing what you're doing, we appreciate you. Thank you for even having an outlet or a platform like this for artists and creatives to come on here and express themselves and be able to, like, you know, tell their story or in their respective fields. So I just want to commend you for the job that you've done and the job that you're doing. Keep at it. And if there's ever moments where you get discouraged or you feel like, oh, maybe this isn't going to work out, fuck that. Keep going, bro. Like, because one episode or one guest or one time that you're live and somebody just hops on here can change your life. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you for having me, bro. And I really appreciate you. And I wish you the best of luck with this. And if there's any way possible that I can help with your journey in this, if it's promoting or whatever, let me know. Like I'm all for that. So thank you for having me. I appreciate you. Peace and love to you and your family. Condolences once again to your family for their loss. And thank you, bro.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you for real.
I'm gonna inbox you my number. We'll keep in contact, and the circle's coming. We gotta make it happen. Hood Soul and Ahmad, him and I were talking about it, and I brought him on board because he has some ideas. He's like, I'll just give it to you. I said, nah, bro, these are your ideas.
Right.
Come on, and let's do this. And he has some good ideas, things I wasn't even thinking of. So.
Hell yeah.
So appreciate that. Those flowers, man. Much love, my brother. We will be in
Yes,
contact.
sir.
Everyone, have a good night, and we will see you next week.
Peace out, Mike. Appreciate you, bro.
Hey, yes, sir.